Hallo Freunde der analogen Unterhaltung, es geht weiter hier im Livestream. Ich rede jetzt kurz Deutsch, dann gleich Englisch mit dir.
English, please.
Yeah, English in a second.
Sprechen Sie English?
Yeah, a little bit. Wir werden gleich auf Englisch weitermachen, denn hier ist da Steven von Stronghold Games und
Yes.
hat ja, eine Sache mitgebracht, auf die ich tatsächlich schon wahnsinnig heiß bin. Dragon Flagon, eine Kneipenschlägerei. So it's Dragon Flagon, it's like a bar brawl fight.
Die Dragon und Flagon?
Der Drache und das Flakon.
Yes, so and I apologize for not speaking German to your audience. The best German I know is ein Bier. Zwei Biers.
So, that's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Viel mehr als ein Bier, zwei Bier braucht man ja
There
nicht,
you go.
um durchzukommen.
So yes, so in the Dragon and Flagon, you are medieval fantasy characters of the various archetypes, mages and monks and druids and paladins and swashbucklers, and you've all, after you've been on your big adventure, you're out there, and now you've come back to the Dragon and Flagon, and now you're bragging about
To
how
have
great
one
you
beer.
did. To have maybe one beer or more,
Or two or
maybe more.
50.
And what you're going to be doing is, of course, a fight breaks out, because at every medieval fantasy tavern, fights end up breaking out. You're not going to be hurting each other. We kind of keep this family friendly. But what you're going to be doing is everybody's going to start with a certain amount of reputation on their character sheets, and every time you do a move against other people, you're going to be stealing their reputation. So Morgallo the druid might have 11 reputation, and if she casts a spell and hits Tio the monk, some of his reputation will drain over.
Okay.
At the end of the game, it's going to be the player with the most reputation
Who
is
wins?
the winner of the game.
It's the winner of the game.
That's right. Now, what you see here, should I just keep going, or do
Yeah,
you want
of
to do
course.
translations?
Of course. No,
Oh,
we
no,
can.
no.
Die Detailkamera will nicht. Okay. We see everything on the
Good.
big table.
So everything you see here on the board, it's a three-dimensional tavern.
Yeah, it's,
Right. So every piece.
Spiele, Bierkrüge,
Small tables, large tables,
uh,
barrels. These are barrels. So everything you can manipulate on this board. Oh, there's also rugs. You see, there's rugs down here that you can pull the rug up from under
And then
somebody.
zoom,
Of
and
course, pull the rug. You know,
Smash
you
the
smash
beer.
tables, throw it out. You smash. You throw the mugs. You smash chairs over people's heads.
ja, perfekt.
So you can see this really cool landscape of a bar.
Yeah.
And the cards it's program movement.
Okay.
So you have a set of cards. Do I have only his cards? I do. There are certain cards that are basic cards. Some cards are your like special power cards, and then there's your dragon card. That's
Okay.
your most important power. And the only way that you can get the dragon power is if you capture the Dragon Flagon. This is a mug of mystical powers.
Okay.
So that once you have it, you've quaffed it. You can walk around with it.
Like
you've
a
quaffed
very
it,
special beer.
very special beer, and you get powers from it, and then you can get that very special card into your hand. His is the Dragon Kick, which is going to do 7 reputation damage. And each one has a special power that they can get once they use that dragon, once they use the dragon power.
So we want all this.
We're going to try to get that. So it's a very good thing. And if you have it at the beginning of your turn, if people haven't stolen it back from you, you can even get more reputation. So it's a push and pull of reputation. And you're going to do it via program movement. So if I play, you only have to program 2 of your movements. So if I put one down here, and I put let's just say I play some simple ones.
And all the players are programming their turn.
You program it simultaneously, you program your movements, and then depending on whose turn it is, because this is a time track, at the beginning of the game it'll be randomized,
Yeah.
and then let's just say that our monk went first, and he would turn over his card, and it would say it's a 2 movement, so he would go up to 2 over here.
Two movement.
He
okay.
would.
Yeah.
That's a 2 time time has been done, and then he would execute dash.
Okay.
Whatever dash does, he'd be able to run someplace.
So the costs are in time.
The costs are in time. So then this card would go back into his hand, and then this would slide over, and he can program a different card.
Okay.
So and you don't only have to program 2 at a time, so you don't like have that like when Robo Rally, where there's so many things to program. By the end, it's so chaos.
Your head explodes.
You only have to do a third one if you're stunned. So if somebody did do something, they hit you over the head with a chair and you got stunned, well then you can't react as fast, then you have to program 3. But that doesn't happen as often, so that's good. And then the time is that once everybody goes on this time marker would move up to the next point. So let's say that there were some people who had gone already. So all of these people had gone here. Time marker moves up here. We'll shuffle these up. Then this character would go, do her move, and then the time would go. Time is going to continue moving all the way around. You can play a shorter game or a longer game. When we get over to here, we reveal this tile. Oh, you're still fighting. As it goes a little bit longer, the town guards show up.
Okay.
They arrest everybody. However, someone has the biggest reputation,
and he's
they're the winner, or she is the winner of the game. We've got 9 different characters in the game. The game is from 2 to 8 players.
Das haben wir noch gar nicht gesagt, das ist nämlich ein Spiel für 2 bis 8 Spieler. Also man kann hier wirklich zu 8 gleichzeitig sich in die Kneipenschlägerei stürzen.
And when you play with less players, you play more characters. So you can play with 2 or 3 or even 4, like only 2 players. You can play with a whole bunch of guys, so they're a team.
Okay,
right?
so you always have a full
You can always have lots and lots of people
so
at
if
the
I
bar.
play a 2-player game, every of us can control 4
You can do that.
characters
Sure.
in a team battle match. I really love the theme because that's what I do after the dungeon. You know, I go in bars and
Of
stuff.
course. After
and I
dungeon,
love
we
it.
always do that.
Yeah, of course. So that's what we're doing, and here it's so cool.
Really cool pieces. I mean, we wanted to make this just have great table
it looks
presence.
like a deluxe version, but it's the standard version.
This is a standard version of the game, absolutely. Now, you know this guy named Tom Vassell. You know him. He's not an important guy, but
I've heard about him.
You've heard about him, but you guys are the important podcasters out there, of course. So Tom called it, and obviously tavern brawl games have been done before, but Tom said, and Tom can be very mean to me. Tom said this is the best in class. He thinks this is the best tavern brawl ever done. And there was an old game called Swashbuckler.
Okay.
You remember this game?
No.
This is like 1970s game.
Okay.
By Yakinto Games, and it came in now I'm really dating myself, the old LP record album kind of case.
Okay.
Do you remember what that was? An LP,
Yeah.
It came in a case like that opened up like this, and the board would open up like that.
Wow, which is awesome.
So and it was a very table-based game, like you actually have like look-up charts, so old school. But Geoff Engelstein, this is a Geoff Engelstein and Family Design, he took the inspiration from that game and he made this game with the modern mechanics of program movement and stealing of reputation and stuff like that.
Really cool. So, where can the people find Stronghold games?
Okay,
at
well,
the Spiel.
At the Spiel, of course. You can come over to Hall 3, booth
Halle 3,
M107.
Halle 3, M107.
07.
Eine Frage aus dem Chat, there's a question. Oh, will there be a German version of Dragon and Flagon?
I can say with fair certainty that we may have German interest. It's not yet the moment on the schedule with them, but we may see some interest.
Es gibt jetzt noch keine fixe Ankündigung, aber es gibt auf jeden Fall Interessenten auf dem deutschen Markt. Also es ist sagen wir mal, eine recht hohe Wahrscheinlichkeit, dass es dann vielleicht irgendwann nächstes Jahr auch auf Deutsch kommt. But the
cards do have text, but not a lot, and they're pretty simple once you understand. Everybody has the same basic ones anyway, and then the special powers you have to get to use. But lots of icons also. So even if you know decent amount of English, you can still play. You play the game, in this version too.
Man braucht wirklich nicht arg viele Englischkenntnisse. Es sind ein paar Texte auf den Karten, die kann man sich erschließen. Viele Basiskarten sind auch ähnlich in den verschiedenen Decks. Also mit ein bisschen Englisch kann man es problemlos spielen. Dragon and Flagon, aber es ist nicht it's not the only game we want to talk about.
It is not. But give me one more minute.
Yeah,
I want to mention one more thing.
All the things
There's if you find like fighting over ale offensive, maybe you don't want the children to do that. We have a plate of cookies in the game too.
Oh, you can fight about cookies.
And even one more thing, which we're now going to do is a terrible thing here. But if you look at this
Oh my
side,
God.
on this side of the board,
Okay, wait.
is a
There
double-sided
is-
board. And now you have
It's
ship
a
to
ship
ship
fight.
combat. And what you're fighting over here, same kind of fighting, and there'll be treasure chests. I didn't set these up, but there'll be treasure chests on certain spaces on the board. And if you can bring their treasure chests over to your side, you get extra reputation at the end of the game. But the same kind of fighting is going to go on. You're beating each other up.
It
and moving.
looks cool for the team variant.
And this
so
is a team
everyone-
variant.
yeah.
Absolutely a team variant. So one team versus
My
another
ship
team.
against your ship.
Absolutely.
And after the loser pays
That's right.
in the bar.
That's right. And in the rules on one of the pages, we don't even tell you about the game, but there's a riddle in the rule book to find out how to find the rules. We then tell you, if you go to a certain page upside down, you show it there. But we don't even go through it. Then you download the rules for how to play this version of the game. So we have multiple ways of playing the game. That's what we want to give to gamers. Beautiful game with many ways to play it.
Really, really cool. I
Thank you.
love it. Zwei Fragen, two questions. How much is it?
The price at the Spiel is €40, I think. 40 euro. I think so.
40 Euro, glaubt er, ist der Preis hier auf das Spiel für das ganze Material. Wie gesagt, ein Haufen dreidimensionale Teile, Holzstühle, Krüge und. Kommt noch eine zweite Frage?
Also available at your local game store, of course.
It's a fixed setup, or you can.
Every game you can do any way you want. We have we have a recommended first game, but after that, whatever you want.
Es gibt einen vorgeschlagenen Spielaufbau, gerade fürs erste Spiel, aber das ist überhaupt nicht fix. Man kann das aufbauen, wie man möchte. Also das ist a game to puzzle your
Yeah.
favorite bar.
Your favorite bar. Make it after your favorite bar. Make it after Cheers or whatever you like.
Great.
So why don't we bring over? We
Yes.
just keep rolling and bring over the other game. Whatever.
1 second break, not really a break. We just put out this game.
We're just going to talk about it.
And okay, yeah,
Let's
we
just talk about it in the
it.
box, just like this.
So here's another game.
Sorry, we're not going to show it to you too much.
It's the Fog of War.
The Fog of War. Now, in the Fog of War, a theme that's been done many times. This is the European theater of war during World War II, right?
Okay.
Axis allies during World War II. But this is, again, Geoff Engelstein, podcaster and known student of game design. What Geoff wanted to do, he's been working on this alone because he always does games with his family, his daughter and his son. We're now like adults; they're like in their 20s. He always does games with them, but this one he's been designing on his own for over 10 years.
Okay.
And finally, he came up with a design he loved. And what you do in this game is different than any other war game, especially a European theater. You do have a map. Sorry, we're not actually opening it and showing it. We just don't have the time for it. But you do have I show it to you this way. Maybe you take a little picture. So you do have a map of Europe, but what you also have, each player has got what's called an operation wheel. One here for the Axis and for the Allies. And on this operation wheel, you're going to be planning an operation against the enemy.
Okay.
To do that, on your turn, you place cards. You say, I'm going to start preparing Operation Alpha or Operation Beta. There's just different names that you place there. And you can start placing cards on these things. Now, your opponent can play intel tokens to then possibly take a look at some of the cards there. Am I having one of the biggest operations of the war, or am I bluffing you? Because you can play bluff cards into your operations as well as huge, okay, this is going to be a tremendous strength operation, and we're going to be going after Spain or something like that, some really major operation of the game. The operations can be launched early at a penalty, or they can be launched later with greater strength, but your opponent will have more time to potentially learn about the operations. So Geoff has taken a completely different look at the war. He's done it at a grand strategic level.
Yeah.
In other words, how do people plan the operations, the ways of going about the combats during the war? So that's what he did with this game. Really happy with the way it's come out. The little, very different wheel that we have here. You actually rotate this center piece to point to the current operation. And it takes place over 1940 to 1944. Victory point based, whichever side. 2-player war game. goes for about 90 minutes to 2 hours.
It's a two, we didn't mention it. Yeah, it's a two-player, also ein Zwei-Spieler-Spiel, 90 bis 120 Minuten. Ab 10 Jahren wird es empfohlen. Very interesting, I think.
Very
And
different kind of take on World War II.
German release.
Not yet, but I know a German publisher who I think is going to like this game. So
Also,
we'll see.
Auch hier, ähnlich wie bei Dragon Flagon, es gibt noch keine konkrete Ansage dazu, aber es gibt auch da auf jeden Fall mindestens einen Publisher, der Interesse hat. Also die Hoffnung nicht aufgeben, dass es auch eine deutsche Version von The Fog of War geben wird. Ja, fantastic.
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you very much. And you'll do the review for me.
We do the reviews for you,
All right.
and we will send you the link, of course.
Awesome.
And you can see the inside of this game as well. Thank you. Vielen Dank, dass ihr zugeschaut habt. Wir machen eine ganz kleine Pause und dann geht es weiter mit Decilla's Game, wenn ich richtig informiert bin, und Sultans of Wind.